Alright, what's up everyone? Today we're going to be doing something that a lot of you guys have asked me. We're going to be going over some TA tips, where to find support, where resistance lines are, basic things like that, how to spot a good entry, how to spot a good exit. These are some of the most commonly asked questions I get, so that's what we're going to be focusing on today. If someone has a coin they want me to talk about or whatever, I'll answer some questions at the end. But to start off, let's just get straight into some TA. If someone wants to write in the comments a coin they want me to look at first, then I can show you guys on that. But the main indicator I use, like I said, is Ichimoku Clouds. This is basically the only indicator I use now. Sometimes I use some moving averages, EMA. My buddy Crypto says showed me this 13 and 48. Let's do 13 and 48. So everyone trades differently, obviously, and you're gonna have indicators that work for you. These are what work for me. I don't need any RSI. I don't use MACD. I don't use Bollinger Bands. Basically, this is all I'm going to use. All I use is Ichimoku Clouds and these EMAs, and they work for almost anything. If we want to look at Bitcoin TA, let's start here. I'll go back to the hourly, actually. It'll be a lot easier. So, with the moving averages, it's really simple. You're just looking for crossovers. You want the 13 EMA to cross over the 48 EMA. That's going to signal that you're about to start a bull trend. This is a pretty good signal. They're usually pretty right, and if you look, it coincides with the Ichimoku indicator. So if we are looking at this Bitcoin run on the hourly chart starting all the way back at November 30th, this is when we had the crossover of the EMAs. So if you were just using this simple indicator on November 30th, you would have bought Bitcoin at 9,980. You would have been holding it, no crossovers. Here, the first crossover almost 10 days later, you would have made about 70%, sold at 15,700. And this is one of the most basic strategies, using moving averages to find your entries and exits. Obviously, it's not going to always work this well, but you can see that the Ichimoku Clouds align with the indicator as well. This is why I use these two, because if I get the indication from both of these, usually it's a pretty good indicator, and I'm going long. I'm not going to sell until I see a bearish crossover. So if we look at the Ichimoku Clouds, let's just make it easier to see. I'm going to close these out for a second. So what we're looking for with Ichimoku Clouds is you want the conversion line to cross over the lagging span. And the terms for them are the Tenkin and the Kijun. I don't know how to pronounce them exactly, but you want basically the 9 candle indicator to cross over the 26 candle indicator. And the way that these indicators average out, not going to get too much into it because the average person doesn't need to know. They're pretty good signals without knowing how the averages are computed. So right here you see this same crossover as we would see with EMAs. So when you're looking at this and you see this crossover of the conversion line and the lagging span, and you also see the crossover between the two moving averages, that's almost always a buy indicator. On top of that, it's passing through the clouds. And like I said, your first sell indicator is going to be right around here for Ichimoku when there's a crossover the other way. When the shorter time frame crosses over the longer time frame, that means you're starting to lag behind. Get ready for a bearish trend. So if we were strictly following this one simple indicator, we would have sold here from 9,900. We would have gone to 16,000 almost. Sold here. Bought back here at 15,000, and we would have just sold again at 17,200. So over the span of 2 weeks, we would have made 80 to 100%. Sorry, I'm gonna get in the comments to see what's going on. Hold through mana. I'm not gonna answer any questions about coins until the end. I want to focus on TA right now. Zoom in. We can't see the crossovers very well. Oh, sorry about that. So this is the crossover I'm talking about with Ichimoku, and you can set whatever colors you want. This is the way it comes. The light blue is the shorter span and the brown is the longer span. We honestly don't even need this one right now. Or I guess we can, just to make it simpler. So this is the crossover that I'm talking about. And then for EMA, this is the crossover I'm talking about right here. I hope you guys can see it better now. All right. I'm going to answer a couple questions about indicators. Do I ever use 250 for EMA? Not really. I've been using 13 and 48 for about a week now, and I've liked that a lot better than 50 and 200. A lot of coins you can't even use the 200 EMA because a lot of them haven't been trading for 200 days. I usually prefer to use these indicators on the daily and the 4-hour. So another quick tip before we go into some other charts is the time span. What I see a lot of new people doing, the biggest mistake that they're making is they're trading on the 5-minute or they're trading on the 15-minute. And these really are not long enough spans for you to get a general trend of where it's going. Like, you see how many crossovers are going on here. It's just really difficult to know when to go in, when to get out. You know, I mean, if you're on the 15-minute chart, you're panicking right here. You might panic sell after the sell-off, and then it's going up another 10 to 15%. So I'd really advise all of the new traders, you know, when you're getting used to TA, don't go anything under 1 hour. I'd really suggest 4 hours. 4 hours to me has been the most successful chart I've used is 4 hour to find just general trends, where to enter and where to exit. Do you use RSI or MACD? Almost never. I don't think RSI is a good indicator for crypto, and MACD is pretty worthless for crypto in my experience too. Why use different lengths for crypto versus stocks? Because crypto trades 24 hours. Same with Forex. Stocks only trade, 9 to 4. So you're going to get a lot different indicators for crypto. The crypto indicators are going to be similar to the Forex ones. What's up, Nate? Good to see you in here. You bad at basketball? I'm not bad at basketball. Is Elliott wave theory outdated? I don't use Elliott waves. A lot of people have been really successful using Elliott waves, so it's just not my kind of thing. How do you use these indicator on alts when BTC is so unpredictable? All right, so I'm going to get into some alt charts now because that's a really good question. Before I even get into alt charts, when you see this kind of crossover, you know, on a 4-hour chart, and you know Bitcoin's about to have a nice bull trend, whatever else that you're not comfortable holding, just sell them. Just sell some of them, take some profits, because if you took profits here, you know when you get up here, most of your alts are down 150% over the past 4 weeks. Or not 150%, 50%. So if you see that Bitcoin's about to make a big move, and like I said, the best indicator or the best time frame for Bitcoin is 4 hours. Look, if you're looking at the 4-hour chart, just look at how good these crossovers work. I'm going to try and zoom in. I know some of you guys can't really, someone said they can't see my screen as well. So if we're looking back all the way to mid-September, here's a crossover right here. I would go long at this crossover. There's not a bearish cross until here. The bearish cross, bullish cross right after. So if you would go long here, sell a bunch of your alts, your Bitcoin's going to appreciate in value 80%. You're going to sell here in a fake out. You're going to buy right back though, or buy back your alts and then sell them. And then you're going to ride that up another 20 or 30%. You can sell here. And I know this doesn't look like long to some people, but these are 4-hour candles. I mean, 6 candles is a full day. So you're looking at 3 to 4 day spans, you know, 7 to 8 day spans. So in terms of buying altcoins and which to hold when Bitcoin's running, you got to be on top of things. This doesn't trade in terms of USD. Everything trades in terms of Bitcoin. So if King Bitcoin starts to run, you got to know that throw away the indicators, throw away most of your technical analysis, else you're going to drop. Wrong chart. Lux is ranging. I'll go to the Lux chart. Lux is one of my favorite alts, of course. I talk about it every day. Super bullish on it. Could you do more EU friendly streams? It's 3 a.m. Yeah, I'm gonna start streaming earlier. I'm probably gonna start streaming at around 4 p.m. Eastern. All right, so looking at Lux, Lux isn't really the best chart just because it's only been trading for a couple months. So I'm gonna refrain from looking at Lux because I want to show you guys a chart where you can see a really good entry and you can see when you're starting to want to exit. And you don't need to use any indicators really. I can show you with Ichimoku and EMA, but you don't really need any indicators. A lot of it's common sense. So let's go on Bittrex. And, I'm trying to find a coin that's been trading for a long time, that's had multiple breakouts, so that it will do best. So let's go to Dash, actually. Dash has been trading for a long time. We all know this. So for my entries and exits, I like to look at the daily first. So if we're looking at Dash recently after this huge breakout, the first thing I'm going to do is pull out the fib retracement levels. And to do that in Coinigy, you go to this fork right here, you hit fib retracement, and what you're going to want to do with the fib What you're going to want to do with the fib retracement is you want to go from the absolute start to the breakout till the top. So I'm going to grab the fork, fib retracement. We'll say it starts about here and go to the top. So what these different levels are just they're different retracement levels based on Fibonacci numbers, the Fibonacci sequence, and a lot of people use these as an indicator of where a chart is going to bounce, especially after a big breakout, and where you want to pick it up. I personally don't use this, but I get a lot of questions about it, so I'm going to go over it really quick. I'm not an expert with fib retracement levels, but I can show you the basics. This is actually one of the first things that I used when I started trading. So after a breakout, once something hits its top, usually it's going to bounce down to the 0.382 fib retracement level. It's going to bounce somewhere in this area. So you're going to see a couple big red candles, and then you're going to be looking for a bounce in this area. So if you want to do a quick swing trade, you know it's going to bounce in this area. Once it gets down closer to the 0.382 level, you can buy it, and then it will usually swing up past this 0.236 level. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. And it won't hit the top again. This is when you know you got to get out. You're about to see a bunch of red candles. This is the end of the uptrend. And so after this, you're going to let the chart consolidate for a while. You don't want to be buying it on the way down. You don't want to be hitting all these red candles. You don't want to buy back too early. It's almost better to buy back too late. So for me, after this big Dash breakout, if I wasn't a part of it, I would wait a week or two and I would see what kind of support it finds. Typically, you're going to find support between the 0.618 and 0.5 retracement level. So if we look at that, let's just get a nice box to outline it for everyone. So we're looking for an entry in this area immediately after, because this is where theoretically it's supposed to bounce. It's supposed to find support there. And if you notice, it finds a lot of support there. It's trading up and down in this range for, well, March all the way to July. Still trading in this range. I mean, it's still trading in this range. So if you're looking at it, you know, anytime it falls below the 0.618 level, that's when you're going to look to pick it up a little bit. That's when you're going to want to keep building your bag of Dash. Could break out at any time, but the longer it consolidates in this area, the bigger the breakout it will be after it. So I bet if we go back and look here, there's a ton of consolidation before the breakout. I'm going to zoom in on there, and let's see if we can apply exactly what I just said to the time before this breakout. So this is all the way back to the start of the year, or sorry, end of last year. And let's just find the last big breakout of Dash. I would say this is a pretty big breakout. Well, I believe Bitcoin was running pretty hard at this time, and that led to the downfall. So that's not a very good place to start. Like I keep saying, when Bitcoin's running, you got to just sell your alts. If you have long bags, then don't worry about them. But if Bitcoin keeps on going up, you just see altcoins getting smacked. There's a few that will go up during the Bitcoin run, but if Bitcoin goes up 50%, most altcoins aren't going to be able to survive that. Could you explain how you use TA to detect live reversal in order to find the top or keep the position if the resistance is being broken? Yeah, I'll go into that right now. Let's look at THC, for example. This is a coin that I bought the other day. It topped out. Some people sold too early, sold too late. They got mad. But, you know, most people probably profited in this coin. So, where are my sell indicators? We're going to start off with the sell indicators after this breakout. Once I see this breakout, I'm on the 4-hour chart. Like I said, I do most of my entries and exits from the 4-hour chart. My exit would be after this green candle is broken. So when you're looking at candlesticks, you want to wait until the candlestick actually ends, which is there's one candle every 4 hours, and there's a new one forming. So a big indicator that the uptrend is broken is if the last green candle is engulfed by a red candle, and it's called engulfing candle. I'm going to show you guys some pictures. So there's bullish and there's bearish engulfing candles. I'm talking about a bearish engulfing candle. This is one of the top reversal signs. This is 85% accurate in my opinion. If you take out the whole Bitcoin factor, engulfing candles at the top are more than 90% accurate. As you can see, I'm sure this is a pattern you've all seen a ton of times, and then you're like, it's going to bounce. It's not going to keep selling off. Like I said, one of the strongest reversal signs is an engulfing candle. So, I mean, a great example is this engulfing candle right here on the next breakout, but this is a little bit more difficult. You see this last green candle. We see three candles, which is actually a continuation pattern. So I wouldn't sell right here until there's this candle breaking the top green candle. So I would have probably bought in around here in THC once I saw the volume spiking and this crossover, and then I probably would have sold right about here in the 750 to 800 range. So that trade, simply by looking at volume, looking at this crossover, you're in at 350 at the latest, and you're out around 750, 800, and that's in a matter of 1, 2, 3 days. So something I want to keep stressing is you don't need all these indicators. I personally don't use almost any indicators. I could trade without any indicators at all, just using the candlesticks. So if you're new to TA, one of the most important things you should learn is the different candlestick patterns. And there's a bunch of them. I'll show you guys some right now. I'd say there's 5 or 6 candlestick patterns that everyone should know because they're really strong indicators. The first one is the engulfing candle that I was just talking about. The next one is the hammer. A hammer at the top, which looks like this, which means that the price spiked up and then it's closing. The price spiked up, there was a big pump, and now it's closing lower than the previous candle. So this is a really bearish indicator, big reversal sign. And then on the other end, when something is dropping a lot, I can show you a chart with that. When something's dropping a lot and then you see this hammer, which means that it got dumped, but the dump was bought up really quickly and it actually closed higher than the candle opened. And we're looking at 4-hour candles. Like I said, you want to be using 4-hour candles or daily candles at the lowest 1-hour candles. And so this is another really strong reversal sign. And we're going to find this in a chart so I can show you guys how it works. Let's see, what chart can we look at? Yeah, I'm trying to find a chart that's been around for a while. Let's look at DNT. DNT has not been out long enough. Doge. 2 lows of Satoshis. Ethereum. Trying to find a hammer candle for you guys. Right here would be a good example of a hammer. And it usually means that there's going to be some sort of reversal in the trend. If you see on this way down, there's a lot of buy pressure towards these last few candles because the wicks are really long. A wick being really long means that the price went a lot lower than it closed. So during that period, there was a lot of buy pressure. Seeing these 2 hammers is a pretty good indicator that the price is going to go up soon. There's a ton of buy pressure, and then right after that, we see this breakout. I'm going to go to some questions really quick. I know you said you don't like MACD, but I use it for daily and 4-hour, weekly when applicable. Doge is about to be a bullish MACD cross on the weekly. Again, I can't stress enough that everyone trades their own way. There's so many different trading strategies, and you can't just copy the strategy someone else uses. You have to figure out what indicators work for you, what kind of trading strategy works for you, or else you're not going to be successful because everyone's different, and there's so many ways to make money. You just got to figure out how you make money. And in the next couple days, I'm definitely going to be putting out a video of different trading strategies that you can try, and then you can figure out what works for you. Can I look at WTC? Looks like a crossover on the 4-hour. Yeah, so WTC has been getting hammered. I don't own any right now, but I cannot imagine that it doesn't bounce soon. We're going to go to the 4-hour. Let's bring in these indicators. So, if we're looking at this on the 4-hour, just doing very basic stuff, well, let's go back here. So, end of November, you know, WTC, it's been, this is about a week right here. It's been trading in this range up and down. You know, there was a pump and there was a dump. When you're looking at it, this seems to be the bottom, essentially. When you're looking at it here, you know, bottomed out and then it bounced higher. So when it bounces higher, you want to pick up in this range. Obviously, it didn't hit that range again, but it's going to start building support here. A pretty good indicator that it's not going to go below this point is when the next bounce is above it. So if we saw the opposite, where after this huge dump, it bounced and then it made a lower low, it's going to keep going down. That's a bad indicator. Like right here, huge dump, bounced, and then lower low. So you always want to be looking where it bounces and if it's gaining traction or losing traction. But so anyways, we're just trading with some basic indicators. You know, my two main indicators. You see the crossover right here. You're buying WTC at 57,000. You also see the crossover on Ichimoku actually earlier, but the indicator gets a little messed up because there was this pump. That's why I like to stack the two indicators together. And then you're going to be selling right here at 74,000. You could have sold much higher. I mean, I personally would take profits when it gets up here, but it's really difficult to call the tops. The strategy that I'm showing you is very safe. We're looking at a long time span, and when there's this initial crossover, you're usually pretty safe. You're going to secure at least 10 to 20% gains as long as Bitcoin doesn't do anything crazy. As far as WTC looking like a crossover in the 4-hour, I don't see any crossover on the 4-hour. Right now, I would be accumulating WTC in this area. We see this kind of double bottom. When it gets below this price, it seems that there's some pretty good buy pressure. So it's almost a safe bet to be buying WTC here. And if it breaks the bottom right here, we're going to be looking to sell it because it's going to make lower lows. But I really wouldn't recommend buying with a chart looking like this because first of all, we're trading really safe right now. There's no buy indicators. Bitcoin's going kind of crazy, and it's in a free fall as far as my indicators go. You know, my lagging span for the EMA is just going lower and lower. We see a little bit of curl on the shorter time span EMA, but this follows really closely to the candlestick pattern, so that's not really telling you that it's turning around. We're going to wait until we either see more trading in this range, signaling that this is an accumulation zone, it's not going to fall below this point, people don't want it below this point, or until it starts to rise and we see a crossover. I'm going to answer a few questions really quick. What are some of the main things that you look for in volume? So, I actually don't really look for a crazy spike in volume. I'm going to zoom in so we can see volume. What I'm looking for as far as volume goes, in addition to my different indicators, is I want to see that the volume is gradually increasing. I don't want the volume to randomly spike because that's usually when you get a pump for like one day. But if you look right here in this zone, I'm going to make this a little bit more opaque so you can see it better. In this area, both my indicators are giving me a crossover, the EMA a little bit before the Ichimoku. So right there, that's already a buy. And you're going to see a buy for one of these two indicators before really anything else, in my opinion, and from my experience. There's obviously a lot of indicators that I haven't used and I don't trade with, so I can't say for all of them, but this is what I do. And then on top of that, not only do you have your two buy signals from both your indicators, you see that this volume is gradually increasing. The volume is gradually increasing after your buy signals. But, you know, if you want to back it up with volume, then there, you have three very solid indicators that this is about to be going up. Can I analyze Litecoin? I'm not going to analyze any specific coins. I'm just talking about some basic TA strategies right now. Do I trade based only on TA? No, I actually have not been doing a lot of TA Recently, I've been trading more on FA and just, like I said, this very basic TA. If you get used to these few indicators that I'm showing you right now, I mean, you can open a chart and you can immediately see, should I buy it now? When should I buy it? What should I be looking at? And then you can use FA to back that up. So if I see a crossover, I'm not going to just blindly buy it. I'm going to go on Google. I'm going to go on CoinMarketCal. I'm going to see, is there some FA backing up the reason that the price is increasing, the volume's increasing? You know, is there some sort of news coming out? Did they just announce a partnership? Like, what's going on? So I trade mostly based on FA, and then I like to back it up with TA. So the opposite of what I just said. You can make plenty of money trading only based on FA. You can make plenty of money trading based only on TA. Like I said, whatever works for you. So I'm just going to pull up a chart and show you how quickly I can look and see if I would buy it or not and if I'm interested. Let's go to Mana, for example, which broke out the other day. So if I pull up the Mana chart, I see this sell signal. If this candle closes like this is immediate sell signal. I was showing you over here, right here, one of the strongest reversal signals out there. I looked at this chart for maybe 5 seconds and I saw this signal. I'm going to be watching it. If I own it, I'm waiting for the candle to close. The candle closes over here in an hour and 44 minutes. I'm not selling right now. In the next hour, 44 minutes, this candle could fill back up and go even higher. So if the candle closes like this, I'm going to be looking to exit my position, definitely take some profits, or at least watch it closely while I see the next candle. I'm going to keep going on some questions. I heard that you expect some BTC correction at the start of next year. How do you plan to time play your alts? I'm actually in a lot of alts right now. I mean, obviously the alts I'm talking about all the time, just so you guys know. I'm never really paid to talk about any alts. All the alt picks that I talk about are alts that I truly believe in, things that I buy. If I buy it and it goes down, I'm losing money with you guys. So I do still think that Bitcoin has another run in it before the end of the year. I'm watching my alts pretty closely, and I'm definitely ready to take profits if Bitcoin starts to run. A few weeks ago, not even a few weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago, I called the Bitcoin top at 13.5 thousand and it ran all the way to 17,000. I took a big hit there. Like I take hits all the times. I know you guys might think that I'm the most professional trader or something, but I'm losing on positions also. I make big mistakes. That was a huge mistake I made, and that's the way to learn. You know, it hurt to take that hit. I lost about 30 to 40% on most of my alts, but I will never let that happen again. That's why I'm always recommending you guys to do your own research and do your own TA, because if you just listen to my call, you're never going to learn. If I have a bad call, then you're not going to know why it was bad. Only I'll know why it was bad. You're not going to be able to say, this is why this call was bad. I need to do this next time. Or I need to figure out why I lost money on this call because the coin was up 40% at one point. So my calls a lot of times do work out, but you got to be making your own decisions, or else you're never going to be able to learn. Yes, please smash the like button. Please thumbs up. Please subscribe. Also, I think I'm a super chat now. I enabled it today. I don't really know what that means. If anyone knows what a super chat is, just let me know in the comments, because I'm curious. I haven't really Googled it yet. But I hit enough subscribers and enough views to start a super chat. It sounds pretty fucking cool. So I opened it. Let's go back to some questions. I'm gonna take some questions now before I end the stream. I'll probably stream for maybe 10 more minutes. How do you get your news that fast? Example, your pot call. I'm on Twitter all the time. I follow almost every coin that I'm watching. You'll see me following at least 200 coins. I would say 150, 200 coins. And as soon as I see that on my news feed, I instantly look up the news, see what's going on. You know, sometimes I'll even message the devs. So you just got to be on top of your game, really, when you're looking for news. I'm also in a lot of groups, and there's people tagging me and things, so that definitely helps. But I'm trying to share the news as fast as possible. I think that most devs do share their news through Twitter, so if you don't have a Twitter, get on Twitter. Start following all the coins that you like. Any coins you're looking to start a position in, definitely follow them on Twitter. If you're ahead of people on big news, you can make some huge gains. Can I do one on Komodo? Yeah, I will do one on Komodo. I actually have been looking for an entry on Komodo because I've been hearing that there is news. I can't confirm anything. I haven't looked into it. But let's look at Komodo. Almost instantly I saw this is something that I'm going to watch. We're closing in on this crossover right here. You know, Bitcoin's consolidating right now. There's some news looming. If I see this crossover, I'm going to be buying Komodo. Some people don't like to... Sorry, I'm gonna get into another strategy that's even safer than the one that I'm talking about. Using the clouds on top of the two buy signals that I've been talking about all day, or all stream. So some people won't buy until the candles are through the clouds. These clouds are part of the Ichimoku indicator, and they're basically just resistance points. So as you can see, a lot of times on the chart, it will bounce up to the clouds and it will get rejected by the clouds. These clouds are different lagging spans. If you're interested in Ichimoku and how it actually works, I recommend you Google it. But these are different lagging spans that calculate resistance levels based on like the past. Depends what you do. I think mine's calculating them between 60 and 120 candles. So some people won't actually buy a coin until they see their two buy signals or one buy signal, whatever they're using, and it's through the strong resistance. And if we go back, well, Komodo's not a good example for that, but if we go to like Litecoin, this isn't really the best example either. I need something that's been trading for a long time. Neo hasn't. Well, I'm on Binance, that's why. I meant to be on Bittrex. So now let's go to Litecoin. So for example, like right here, I would buy right here. I'm more of a high risk trader. There's other people who won't buy until it makes it through these clouds. These clouds are really thin, so they're not much resistance. But if we look back further, we can see some thicker clouds, you know. So a really safe trader wouldn't buy until we're well into the clouds. But that's not a strategy I use. I don't find it very successful most of the time. But I'm just trying to show you guys a couple other strategies you can look into. I'm going to go to Komodo on Bittrex because we're going to have a better chart there because it's been trading here longer. Again, really similar. So I was talking about this hammer candle earlier, or spinning top, whatever. Not a spinning top, but it's pin top or whatever if it's the other way. So this is not something I'd be concerned with. This is not a sell sign. When you're looking for these, they're really at the top of a big breakout, like right here. This would be a sell sign. You know, you just had a big breakout, what, 25%. So you see this, that's a sell signal right here. I think this trend's building. I think we're about to see a crossover, and we're gonna get into the clouds. Just showing you another example of how well these indicators show resistance levels. This broke out. This wick is where it traded during the time period, so it was all the way up at 24,000 satoshis. That's exactly where this resistance line is. This is exactly where the cloud is. I mean, these indicators really are amazing for showing resistance levels. So someone's asking, while this is breaking out, you know, when should I look to exit if I'm trying to take quick profits? If you see the price start to hit these resistance levels, you can sell because, you know, most of the time they're going to have to consolidate before breaking them. Missed ZCL yesterday, wait for a pullback. I don't know if you're going to get a pullback out of this one. ZCL is still looking really strong. We do see a little bit of sell pressure, but just based off the FA and what's going on, I'm going to be holding this one a few weeks, at least a few months. Again, using these indicators, you would add the buy signal between 15 and 20,000. There's no reason to sell. Nothing's giving you any sort of sell signal. If you're looking for a place that, if it were to start to consolidate or go down, where you'd look for a bounce, right here. All your signals, or all your indicators are saying that we got some some support right here. You know, if someone sells off, I'm sure it will bounce right off 24,000. I'm going to answer like one or two questions. Can I talk about over trading? Depends on what trading strategy you use. If you're trading all day, then you know you're just looking for a couple of % profit. You're not really over trading. But I'm not going to get too much into that. I'll get into over trading in my video about different trading strategies. And yes, you can watch this video later. All the videos get saved and uploaded to my YouTube channel. Do I usually do my TA charts with candle wicks or bodies? If I'm looking for trend lines, I always do the bodies. If I'm looking for Well, yeah, I guess I use bodies. If I'm looking for trend lines, I always do bodies. And if I'm looking for the tops and bottoms, I use the wicks. Right now, I feel like FA is where the real money is because many coins have matured and there are still some hidden low caps out there. Like I said, I've not been doing a lot of TA lately. The TA is literally me opening a chart with these indicators and seeing if it looks like a buy, backing up my fundamental analysis, backing up the research. ZCL looks like it can do a 5x. Yes, it can definitely do a 5x. Trying to catch up on questions. I'm a little bit behind. I'm going to only answer questions I haven't already talked about or aren't in my other videos. Super Chat hype. Super Chat takes money? What does... People can donate to you and the Super Chat message stays at the top. Oh, I did not know that. That is awesome. So Super Chats highlight and stand out. Thank you, Gregory, for the $2 tip. You are actually my first tip ever on a YouTube live stream. So I'll remember that. I hope to see you in here a lot. Where did I learn TA? Yes, I'm completely self-taught. The first thing I did to learn TA was I bought a book off Amazon just on basic indicators and how to use them. The book I bought was kind of based on stock market analysis and Western indicators, which is like RSI, MACD, Bollinger Bands, things like that. I did not find that book useful at all. If you're trying to learn indicators and TA from a book, I would pick up a book on Forex trading. Forex is 24 hours as well, so Forex trades really similarly to crypto. And then on top of that, I would pick up a book on candlesticks and Ichimoku Clouds. Ichimoku Clouds, it's kind of hard to find a book on it. You can find some pretty good guides online. And then, like I said, candlesticks are so important. They've been around for like hundreds of years, if not more. They're the oldest indicator there was. I think the Japanese used to use them for predicting rice markets. And so before there was even paper, there was candlestick patterns. NMF State, thank you for the tip as well. This is awesome that I can get tips on YouTube. I'm going to be live streaming almost every day, like I said, and putting out videos. And yeah, so I guess if you do want a question definitely seen, then I have a super chat now, so leave a tip and I will for sure be able to answer it. I'm going to end here for the day. I got to get offline, been 40 minutes. Hopefully I'll be streaming tomorrow. I want to get a stream in soon about different trading strategies. I'm personally a momentum trader. And there's many different types of traders. You know, there's holders, momentum traders, swing traders. And you can make money anyway. It's just all about finding what works for you. So I'm going to get off now, guys, and I will see you tomorrow.